What's up, squad? There's two pieces of news that just came out that I thought was really interesting. Basically, the United States have removed Syria from this state sponsor of terrorist list, which is going to free them up and give them one more step to fully integrate into the international order. And they also just put sanctions against the government of Sudan. Um, Now, in these sanctions are going to go against things of drones, and this is coming as a surprise because many believe the Sudanese government forces were actually starting to get a leg up on the rebel RSF group. And these two things are actually kind of contradictory, right? So this Syria situation, as you know, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan has started to align. Now, what this Syria situation does, it allows Syria to be a little bit more muscular, and this is going to lead to a collision course more with Turkey and Israel. By sanctioning the Sudanese government, it's going to limit some of the momentum they have, which is going to prolong the war in Sudan, which is against that same alliance. The point being is what we've seen under America First is a lot of these conflicts are getting bigger and stronger. Before the US used to come, they would have their allies and they would basically say, this is going to be the way. Now, you can agree or disagree with that. But now what we're starting to see is the world is starting to break up into fiefdom. This regionalism is taking over, and regional powers are starting to step into power gaps, but they're not strong enough to dominate. What got Europe to peace was not Europeans, it was Americans' overwhelming power and influence that was able to bring them to the table. So as a major force leaves the arena, such as America shrinking back into North American continent, it's allowing regional players to come into contact, which are creating longer and more chaotic situations on the ground, whether we're talking about the Houthi shooting at ships and planes in the Red Sea, the war in Sudan being protracted, the war in Ukraine being protracted, close combat with Thais and Cambodians, uh, India, Pakistan, that could have went way left, and the only reason that stopped was because the U.S. stepped in. So we're seeing a more volatile world, and we're also seeing conflicts end in a much slower pace. There's nobody with overwhelming force that can end these conflicts, which is causing more deadly environment on the ground. So, do you think it is right that America basically step away and leave the world to its own devices? Or is the only way we have towards a peaceful world is we have an America or a liberal democracy or someone that can bring in and impose a census on both parties? Love to hear your thoughts. Take care. Back to up.